What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm Steve, and today we are going to be putting a Banks iDash datamonster and stealth pod in my 2024 Chevy Silverado with a 3.0 Duramax LZO. I have finally traded my faithful 2016 GMC Canyon. Had the Silverado with the LZO Duramax for just over a month right now, about 3,700 kilometers on it. Aside from a minor meltdown when I first got it,
59 cents plus any taxes and fees.
This thing is phenomenal, but I could use a little bit more information about this thing. The gauge layout, everything on the inside is kind of set up for like dummy gauges, and looking around on the internet, the Banks iDash datamonster, so the iDash with data logging capabilities, is going to show you so much info. So the information that I want to know is regen percentage, DPF load percentage, EGT temperatures, all of that stuff. I want to be able to tailor my driving to help ensure that I'm maximizing the emission system and the DPF. I know Chevy says that you can drive these things no matter what, all this crap. I do a good amount of in town, and then I also do a lot of highway, and depending on when I do the highway, I want to be able to tailor that based on the information I'm seeing on the iDash. Today, I'm going to be walking you through how I'm going to install it on my truck, tuck it all up so there's no wires hanging around, and install the little stealth pod. So let me show you what Banks sent me. In this kit, we got our two main pieces. Our stealth pod, which this looks like it is 3D printed. Kind of found that very interesting, but nice little stealth pod. Full on disclaimer, my interior, my A-pillars are gray. They're not black, so this isn't gonna match, but I don't really care. The stealth pod is an addition over the Banks iDash datamonster, so you're gonna have to buy both of these. This is about $100. I do not want wires, suction cups. I hate all of that. We got our stealth pod, and we've also got a step drill bit, an updated bolt, and a little bit of an Allen key to put it in. So it's a really nice little complete kit, which is awesome. Our Banks iDash datamonster, obviously it's gonna come with our gauge here. This is using an OBD2 port, so this is kind of one of the things that made me hesitate for a little bit. I didn't want wires hanging all over the place, stuff plugged into the OBD2, but the more I looked at it, the more I saw people with these stealth pods. You can hide these wires behind the dash, no sweat. But it also comes with a micro SD card to update the firmware, data logging, all that stuff. In addition, it actually comes with a little adapter for a USB port, which is super nice. Comes with all of our zip ties, and of course, a nice Banks sticker, and a thank you. So in this particular instruction piece, they're gonna show you installation video of, I believe it is an LP5 Duramax. But what I really didn't like about that is it doesn't take into account this. This is gonna be most of the install. So this is helpful, but this is gonna show you how we really need to do it on the brand new 24 Silverado Sierras with an LZO Duramax. We got all this stuff. Let's get to the truck. So this is sitting in our driver position here. As mentioned, our stealth pod is basically going to be going right here. So real nice field of view. It's not suction cupped the window. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to pop off the vanity covers for the A-pillar holy shit handle. Once the bolts are out, we're just going to yank this whole thing out. So using my little trim tool, I'm going to try and get in under here and just pop these guys out without damaging anything. This is a really old one that I got from Accessorides. If not, you can go online, find these things on Amazon. They're super handy, especially when you're doing stuff like this, to prevent you from marring up everything. So with our vanity covers off, these two bolts are gonna be 10 millimeters. Just pop these guys off. And now that we got this guy off, we're just gonna pull out and towards us. Just like that. There we go. Not gonna disconnect anything, not gonna touch anything for here. These we're just gonna leave completely alone. So if for whatever reason your top A-pillar piece comes out without the clip, meaning the clip has stayed in here like this, just grab a pair of pliers, push it together, and pull this thing out. I've had a lot of experience with these GM clips on my Canyon, and sometimes they really just don't want to come out. So take a pair of pliers, pull them out, put them back on here to make reinstallation much easier. If you don't, you're gonna be smashing your head against a wall trying to figure it out. I bent these very back teeth to where they are back facing inwards. Now all I'm gonna do is just snap this guy back down. So before I head back to the garage, I'm gonna start pulling this panel out. Bottom, all the way up. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now I want this open because I'm going to be routing, kind of tying off all of my wires in there. So I got this guy. I'm going to take my A-pillar mount, and I'm going to go to the garage and start drilling it for all the wires. Got my A-pillar piece right here. I've got my stepped bit from Banks. I love that they provide this. I was gonna buy some of these anyway because I think they're handy and I've never had them, but now I don't have to. So we're gonna be taking our step piece and we are gonna be drilling right here. And the hole we need to drill is not very large. It just needs to be able to fit this connector from the back side through into here. So if we look at the size compared to this, I can see like a 12 or a 14. Good news is without changing out a bunch of bits, we can just drill it, check it, go very slow. Okay. Okay, let's see. Wow, we're so close. Is she gonna go through? Boom. Love that. So that was down to about the 14 depth. Let's take all this stuff back to the truck and start to route it. So I'm gonna bring back my A-pillar, my OBD2 cord, and my Banks provided zip ties. They're not branded, they're just regular. First step is plug this guy in. Just kind of fed my wires up in through here. Lots of room back here, this is nice. Once I got all the wires here, fed it up through behind this support here, and then just kind of pulled it out here. So I've got my wire sitting right here. Now, I'm just gonna kind of bundle this up, zip tie it, and then start to place some of these things. So I got most of my cord kind of bundled up below. I'm gonna start to try and fit on this A-pillar because I have a bunch of cord showing right now, but I know I'm not gonna need all of it. So just wanna get it in place and then we'll kind of clean up the slack. So run the cord through here and then start to work these guys back down in. There we go. Oh no. Okay, that was incredibly easy. Throw a 10 mil in there just to kind of keep the placement on there. I think it's time to get the stealth pod in here, place it, and then I'm just gonna kind of pull more of these wires back down in there. So as mentioned, in addition to the bit, Banks is gonna provide you with an Allen key, a bolt, and actually a little washer. Grab the stealth pod and just try and feed this wire in through here until there is a ton showing, which of course there is going to be. And now, comes the fun part, which I have been dreading, which is going to be putting in the Banks supplied bolt and the washer into the stealth pod. There isn't a lot of room in here. Like it's a little pod, and I've got to get right in there to do that. Putting this in was not nearly as bad as I thought. I love when things are engineered nicely. I thought for sure I would not be able to get the long part of the Allen key in here, but this is at such an angle that you can actually still screw this guy in without marking up the outside surface of this. So very nicely designed kit. We're black on gray, but I think it's worth it. You can buy factory paints to match this, but I don't care that much. So we're gonna continue on with this. Proper amount of slack at the stealth pod. This is gonna be the last look at all the wiring here. I tried to keep it on this side because the back of this kind of sharp, but everything's nicely bundled here. You can see we don't have any wires hanging down there. It's gonna be a little tricky because these guys have hooks that have to go in behind our weather stripping here. Okay. Oh, that's definitely not how that goes. Okay. Time for the piece de resistance. So the back of the gauge doesn't really look like anything fancy. You can see obviously there's two connectors for this, a 4-pin and a 6-pin. Because we're running from the OBD2, we're going to be using our 4-pin. This thing has threaded pieces on the back, but this mount is designed so it can basically just press in here. So what we is going to do is put her in, slide her on, and that'll be that. We'll try that. Ah, there we go. Okay, and now it just slides in. Just a little friction fit. It's kind of nice because you can give her the old turn skis if you need to. Let's fire this thing up and just see what it says. First fire up with the datamonster. Let's see what it does. My plug wasn't plugged in. Turning it back off. Let's try this again. Well, there's no SD card in it, so maybe we should put that in. So I restarted it again. I put the SD card in, and everything seems to be very happy. So start to kind of mess around with this thing. There's a couple ways you're going to need to configure this. Put in a 3.0 Duramax, and this is going to basically bring you to here. So when you're first setting this thing up, you'll hit over to the right. It's going to bring you to the menu. You're going to go gauge layout, and that will basically select how many pieces of information you want to see on one page. So the left side of the screen, I have RPM, boost vacuum, engine coolant temperature, and engine oil temperature. On the right hand side of my gauge, I have DPF regen percentage, which is currently at 88. I have def fluid or def level. I have EGT1, and then I have a regen indicator on and off. So if say I wanted to change out DPF regen, I go over to the right, down to gauge selection. I can go into here, hit right again, go category, and I can mess around and turn it into any one of these things. So this is my general gauge that I have set up. If you press and hold back, it will bring you to another gauge, which I have set up fully as a regen gauge. So once I know that this thing is going through a regen, I'll hold it so I can monitor DPF distance between regens, engine coolant temperature, EGT1, EGT3, DPF regen percentage, all of that good stuff. Switch and hold it back. So there's a ton of information that you can put on here. That's a whole other thing, whole other video. So that's gonna do it for this video, showing you guys how to install the Bank Stealth Pod and iDash. Hope this helps somebody out there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.